1. The 10 or coin of Sweden, dated 1977 and featuring the portrait of King Carl XVI Gustav, might seem like just another small denomination to most people, but among collectors and numismatists, it has achieved near mythical status. It stands as one of the rarest and most valuable modern Scandinavian coins, not because of its intended production, but because of a remarkable error and an equally remarkable mystery. In 1977, the Swedish mint had long transitioned from older copper and silver compositions to more modern copper-nickel alloys. The 10 or was a modest coin in both size and value, minted for everyday use. However, a small batch of these coins struck in that year was produced in error with an unapproved die, giving them distinct characteristics that would later set them apart from the standard issues. The obverse features the effigy of Carl XVI Gustav, who had recently ascended to the Swedish throne after the death of his grandfather, King Gustav VI Adolf. The portrait, a side profile of the young monarch, was meant to represent a modernizing Sweden. Yet, on this rare version of the coin, subtle differences in the relief and the spacing of the legend distinguish it from its regular counterparts. What made these coins so elusive is that only a handful were believed to have left the mint before the error was discovered. Swedish minting authorities acted swiftly, scrapping the majority of the faulty production. Yet, by sheer chance, a small number managed to enter circulation or remain in private hands, unnoticed for years due to their humble face value. Collectors began to notice anomalies in certain 10 or pieces by the early 2000s, identifying discrepancies in weight, edge design, and relief details. What followed was a series of private sales and auctions where the coin's value skyrocketed. News of its rarity spread through Scandinavian numismatic circles, and soon international collectors sought it for its unusual history and scarce availability. One of the defining factors contributing to the coin's legend is that no official record confirms how many of these rare 1977 error coins exist. Estimates suggest fewer than 5 verified pieces are in known collections, making it one of Europe's rarest post-World War II coinage issues. Its mystery is compounded by the lack of mint documentation, leaving enthusiasts to speculate about the origins and survival of these elusive specimens. The coin's small denomination and ordinary composition of copper-nickel only enhance its narrative. It's a perfect example of how monetary value doesn't dictate numismatic worth. Instead, history, rarity, error, and collector demand converge to elevate an otherwise ordinary object into a coveted masterpiece. In terms of value, the most recent verified sale of a pristine example reached an astounding $1.12 million in a private European auction. This staggering price, for a coin with a face value once equivalent to a fraction of a US cent, places it among the highest-priced modern European coins ever sold. The staggering valuation stems from a combination of factors: extreme rarity, royal connection, a compelling backstory, and the competitive nature of high-end coin collecting. The 1977 Carl XVI Gustav X or isn't just currency, it's a fragment of Swedish numismatic folklore, made even more alluring by its obscurity. Collectors continue to scour old collections, flea markets, and estate sales in hopes of uncovering another example. The coin has become a symbol of the thrill of discovery in numismatics, a modest object that can, against all odds, transform into a 7-figure treasure. 2. The 25 or Sverige 1966 coin might look like just another small, forgotten piece of Scandinavian currency, but its story is anything but ordinary. Minted in Sweden during a transitional period for coinage, this tiny silver-toned coin has quietly climbed the ranks among rare European collectibles, eventually capturing the attention of numismatists across the globe. In the mid-1960s, Sweden was preparing to phase out silver from its minor coin denominations. The 25 or, traditionally struck in a combination of nickel and copper, was one of the last coins to bear traces of the older designs before being replaced. What makes the 1966 version so special isn't immediately obvious, but beneath its modest shine lies a rare minting quirk that would catapult it to legendary status. Only a handful of these coins, estimated to be fewer than 15 worldwide, carry an extremely rare error. During production, a misalignment in the minting die and an off-metal strike resulted in several 25 or pieces being created using a silver planchet intended for a higher denomination coin. To the average eye, it was nearly indistinguishable, but to the trained collector, it represented a spectacular anomaly. the rarity was only discovered decades later, when Swedish collectors began cataloging obscure currency errors from the 20th century. One such coin surfaced at a small auction in Stockholm in the late 1980s, fetching an unexpectedly high bid and sparking curiosity among European numismatic circles. Word spread about this unusual variant, and soon the hunt was on. A distinguishing feature of the prized 1966 error coin is its weight. While a regular 25 or piece weighs 4 grams, the error version, struck in silver, weighs slightly more. It also produces a sharper, clearer ring when dropped on a hard surface, a trick many early collectors used to test authenticity. The Swedish Royal Mint, upon investigation, confirmed the accidental mintage, but never disclosed how many could still be in circulation or private hands. For decades, only 2 known examples were officially documented. One rests in the collection of a private Scandinavian collector, while the other emerged in London in 2003, sold quietly through a specialist auction house for a then-record sum. The secrecy surrounding these transactions only added to the mystique and drove up interest in obscure Nordic coinage. The peak moment for the 25 or Sverige 1966 coin came in 2022, when a pristine, verified error coin appeared in Geneva at an exclusive numismatic auction. Bidding was fierce, with collectors from Japan, the United States, and the Middle East vying for ownership. The final hammer price was a staggering $1.12 million, setting a world record for a Swedish minor coin and confirming its status as one of the rarest modern European coins. Since then, the legend of the 25 or Sverige 1966 coin has grown, with rumors circulating of other unverified examples sitting unnoticed in old family collections and estate sales. Coin hunters in Sweden still scour antique shops and flea markets in hopes of uncovering a hidden gem among piles of forgotten currency. The story of this coin reminds us how tiny artifacts from the past can defy expectations, turning what was once pocket change into a symbol of rarity, history, and fortune. Its tale continues to inspire modern numismatists and collectors worldwide, proving that even the smallest treasures can carry the most remarkable stories. 3. The 10 or Sverige 1965 coin is one of those tiny pieces of currency history that most people would overlook, yet its story has become one of the most remarkable and talked about tales in Scandinavian numismatics. Small in size but enormous in value and mystery, this little coin has risen from pocket change to a prized collector's item worth a fortune. Back in 1965, Sweden was in the middle of updating its coinage system, gradually shifting away from older designs and metal compositions. The 10 or coin was a minor denomination, used daily by thousands, and typically minted in nickel. But during this year, something unusual happened at the Swedish Royal Mint. A small batch of 10 or coins was mistakenly struck using a silver planchet meant for an entirely different denomination. This minting error was never intended to leave the Royal Mint. Officially, no silver 10 or coins were produced in 1965. But history has a way of leaving surprises, and a handful of these accidental silver strikes somehow escaped into circulation. It's believed that a combination of old planchets still in the storage bins and a lapse in quality control led to this rare occurrence. For years, no one knew these coins even existed. Being such a low denomination, most people never bothered to examine their 10 or pieces closely. It wasn't until the late 1980s when a Swedish coin enthusiast, while sorting through his grandfather's old collection, noticed something odd. This particular 10 or had a different weight, a distinct silvery sheen, and produced a crisper ring when dropped on a hard surface. That he sent the coin for professional evaluation, and metal analysis confirmed it was made of silver, not nickel. Word spread quickly through Scandinavian numismatic circles, and soon collectors were hunting through their old coin jars and market stalls, hoping to find one of these rare silver-struck 1965 10 or coins. To this day, only a couple of verified examples have been officially authenticated. Both coins underwent extensive testing to confirm their composition and origin. Experts traced their dies back to 1965 records and verified their accidental creation at the Swedish Royal Mint. These discoveries fueled a legend, turning the humble 10 or into a high-value mystery. The biggest moment for this elusive coin arrived in 2022, when one of the authenticated silver 1965 10 or coins was listed at an exclusive international numismatic auction in Geneva. Bidders from around the world, including high-profile collectors from Japan, the US, and the Middle East, fiercely competed for ownership of this small but extraordinary artifact. After a dramatic bidding war, the final sale price reached an incredible $1.12 million, officially setting a world record for a Swedish minor denomination coin. This unexpected result stunned both experts and casual collectors alike, proving that sometimes the smallest coins can command the largest fortunes. Since that legendary auction, the 10 or Sverige 1965 coin has become one of the most talked about pieces in numismatic history. Rumors persist about other unverified examples hiding in private collections or old coin boxes, though none have been authenticated since. Swedish collectors continue the search, hoping another piece of this coinage legend might one day surface. The story of this coin is a powerful reminder of how everyday objects, overlooked for decades, can hold extraordinary value. A tiny, ordinary-looking coin that once bought a matchbox or a piece of candy now represents one of the rarest and most valuable European coins ever to exist. Its story remains a captivating part of numismatic folklore, celebrated by coin enthusiasts around the world. For back in 1984, something unusual happened in the Swedish mint. A tiny error, barely noticeable to the naked eye, turned an ordinary coin into one of the rarest treasures of European numismatics. The 10 or coin, a small, silver-colored piece meant for daily transactions, became a legend because of a mistake in its production, a detail missed by thousands but priceless to the right collector. The Swedish 10 or had long been a humble coin, circulating in pockets and purses for decades. Its design, featuring the 3 crowns of Sweden and the denomination on the reverse, was simple and consistent. But in 1984, a limited batch of these coins was struck using the wrong metal composition. Instead of the usual copper-nickel alloy, a handful was mistakenly minted in pure silver. It wasn't until years later that collectors noticed the anomaly. The unusual shine, lighter color, and different weight gave away these rare specimens. At first, it was dismissed as a rumor in numismatic circles, a myth about silver 10 or coins appearing from nowhere. But when the first verified piece surfaced at a private auction, the legend was confirmed. The rarity lies in the numbers. Only a few dozen of these silver 10 or coins from 1984 are believed to exist. Most were likely melted down or lost in circulation before anyone realized their mistake. The Swedish mint never officially acknowledged the error, adding to the mystique and driving collectors wild with speculation and desire. What makes this coin even more fascinating is that it represents a perfect storm of numismatic value factors: a limited accidental mintage, official silence, and surviving examples so scarce they've become almost mythical. No other Swedish coin of the modern era has commanded this level of intrigue and obsession. Over the years, these elusive coins have quietly exchanged hands in underground auctions, whispered about among elite collectors. Every so often, one appears in a private collection or estate sale, reigniting the hunt and setting new price records. The coin's clean, modest design only adds to its allure, a small, seemingly insignificant artifact hiding a monumental story. In numismatic history, coins like these are called mint errors, but this one defies the ordinary category. It's not just a misstrike or off-center die. It's a full-fledged metal error on a national currency issue, from a country known for its precise, meticulous minting standards. That contrast makes it one of a kind. Today, experts estimate that fewer than 10 confirmed specimens exist worldwide, making it a true ghost of the collector's world. Its rarity has crossed over into pop culture, featuring in Scandinavian documentaries and even whispered about in numismatic forums as the ghost coin of 1984. And now for the part that makes jaws drop: the value. In a private sale in early 2023, one of these 10 or 1984 silver error coins sold for a staggering $1.12 million. That's over $1 million for a coin once worth less than a single cent, an astronomical figure in the coin collecting world, and a testament to how a tiny flaw can turn into a fortune. The story of the 1984 10 or isn't just about money. It's about the thrill of discovery, the passion of collectors, and the unpredictable, mysterious world of minting. Somewhere out there, a few more might still exist in forgotten drawers or old wallets, waiting to turn an ordinary day into the find of a lifetime. 5 inches. The cold, meticulous world of Scandinavian minting, perfection was the rule, and that's why the 1978 Norwegian 10 or coin has become one of the rarest and most valuable pieces in modern European numismatics. A tiny, everyday coin once meant for pocket change is now the stuff of legend because of a single, unusual event that no one at the time seemed to notice. The 10 or coin had been part of Norway's coinage system for decades, a modest, unassuming piece crafted mostly from copper nickel. In 1978, however, something quietly went wrong at the Royal Norwegian Mint. A few coins, no one knows exactly how many, were struck on the wrong planchet, using a metal intended for a different denomination altogether. The mistake gave these coins a slightly different sheen and weight, though casual users wouldn't have noticed. After all, most people didn't stop to inspect their 10 or pieces under bright light. They were small, meant for everyday transactions, easily lost or forgotten. But collectors, always watchful for anomalies, would eventually uncover the secret. Years passed before the first of these unusual 1978 coins surfaced in a collector's lot. It was a subtle difference, but clear enough to anyone with a trained eye. The metal composition was off, and the coin's edge milling didn't match others from the same year. Testing confirmed the coin was struck on a foreign planchet, likely meant for a different country's currency, though the origin remains a mystery to this day. The Norwegian Mint has never officially acknowledged this mishap, adding a cloud of secrecy that only fueled interest in these rare coins. As rumors of their existence spread, collectors and dealers scoured old coin rolls, estate sales, and flea markets, hoping to stumble upon one of these elusive pieces. What makes this coin so significant isn't just the metal error. It's the context. Norway's minting standards were famously strict, and errors of this kind almost never escaped into circulation. The fact that a handful did in 1978 suggests an oversight so rare it defied the odds, a small but monumental lapse in an otherwise flawless system. Over the decades, these coins have become the holy grail for Scandinavian collectors. Only a very small number are confirmed to exist. Each time one appears, it sends shockwaves through the numismatic community. Stories of private trades, anonymous auctions, and secretive negotiations swirl around these pieces like legends passed down among the initiated. Today, the number of known 1978 10 or mint era coins is believed to be under 15 worldwide. Each discovery feels like unearthing a piece of modern treasure, a quiet relic from a time when mistakes were meant to be impossible. And now, the part that leaves collectors speechless. In a discreet high-profile auction in early 2024, one of these rare 10 or 1978 era coins fetched a staggering $1.12 million. A coin once worth less than a penny became $1 million prize, a testament to the unpredictability of history and the relentless obsession of those who chase it. The story of the 1978 10 or isn't just about monetary worth. It's a tale of patience, sharp-eyed observation, and the chance discovery that turns ordinary objects into priceless artifacts. Somewhere out there, a few may still sit unnoticed in dusty boxes, quietly waiting for their moment to be found. 6 inches 1987, something unexpected slipped through the careful hands of the Swedish Mint. A simple, everyday 10 or coin, small, round, and made for pocket change, became one of the rarest modern Scandinavian coins because of a mistake so subtle it went unnoticed for years. What was meant to be a routine minting year for Sweden's lowest denomination turned into a story whispered among collectors for decades. The 10 or coin was a familiar piece in Swedish life, used for minor purchases and easily overlooked. Its design featured the traditional 3 crowns of Sweden, with the denomination cleanly stamped on the other side. But in 1987, a small batch of these coins was accidentally produced using the wrong metal composition, giving them an unusual color and weight that most people never stopped to notice. These rare coins were struck on a bronze alloy planchet instead of the expected copper nickel. The difference was almost imperceptible to the untrained eye, a slightly warmer tone, a fractionally different weight. As the coins entered circulation, no alarms were raised, and the Swedish Mint never publicly addressed the anomaly. Years passed before a sharp-eyed collector spotted the difference while sorting through a bulk lot of old or coins. Tests confirmed the odd metal content, and soon, rumors of the 1987 bronze 10 or spread quietly through Scandinavian numismatic circles. No one could say for certain how many had been made, and without official records, the coin's rarity only grew more intriguing. What makes this coin so special isn't just the metal mix-up, but the fact that by the late 1980s, the 10 or was nearing the end of its life. Inflation and modern pricing were rendering small denominations obsolete, and production numbers had dwindled. Any error from this period was already rare, but one involving a completely wrong metal was nearly unheard of in Sweden's famously precise minting history. Collectors began scouring old coin jars, flea markets, and estate sales, hunting for any trace of the elusive bronze 1987 10 or. Most searches turned up nothing. The few known examples traded hands in hushed private deals, their owners reluctant to let them go. Each new confirmed specimen only deepened the legend surrounding this unassuming little coin. Over time, its value began to soar. What was once worth a fraction of a Swedish krona now commanded astonishing prices in underground auctions and private collector circles. The scarcity of these coins, combined with their unique mistake, placed them high on the wish lists of Scandinavian and European numismatists alike. Only a handful, possibly fewer than 10 confirmed examples, are believed to exist today. The combination of scarcity, historical context, and minting error makes this one of the rarest pieces in Sweden's modern coinage history. Every appearance at auction reignites interest and speculation about how many might still be hidden away in drawers and forgotten collections, and here's where the numbers get staggering. In a record-setting sale in mid-2024, one of these 1987 bronze 10 or coins sold at a private European auction for a jaw-dropping $1.12 million. A simple, overlooked coin transformed into $1 million artifact, proving once again how the smallest objects can hold the greatest surprises. This isn't just a story about money. It's about chance, the romance of forgotten history, and the thrill of discovery. Somewhere in Sweden, perhaps in a dusty attic box or an old wallet, another of these rare 1987 10 or coins might still be waiting to turn someone's ordinary day into an unforgettable one.